Hello everyone and welcome back to this Tech Time. In today's Proxmox video, we will take a look at user management, and we're going to cover the two different types of users in Proxmox, when is the best time to apply them, and of course how to manage them. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so here we are back on our Proxmox server. So if you click on Data Center to go to the Data Center view, and then in the middle menu go to your users, as you can see we already have one user, the root user, and this is actually the same root user from the server that is hosting Proxmox. So in Proxmox, one thing you need to understand is that there are two realms when it comes to users. And you can see realm listed here for root, and root is in the realm for PAM. PAM is referring to the underlying host system on the server that is hosting Proxmox. So essentially, PAM is just Linux authorization. Now the difference between PAM users and Proxmox users is going to become more apparent as we go along in this video. And we will walk through the process of creating a PAM user as well as go through the process of creating a Proxmox user. So don't worry too much about the difference at this moment. Now both a PAM user and a Proxmox user will be able to use Proxmox. The difference lies in where the users are created and where the information for that user is stored at. So let's say we want to add another user who needs to be able to manage our Proxmox data center. So we're going to click on add. And so for name, I'm going to use my username, and I could select a group, but right now we haven't got into that. You can also set an expiration date, and we can also enable or disable the user. And you can also add a first name, last name, email address, or even a comment as to what this user is doing on the server. All that information is up to you. For this video, I'm going to keep everything pretty simple, and I'm going to leave the realm at Linux PAM for standard authentication, and I'm going to click add user. And as you can see, it added the B Morgan user. Now there may be a little confusion with this first user that I just created. If I go to my PVE node 3, and then I go to console, and then I go to shell, and that automatically logs me in as root. Now if you're familiar at all with how Linux authorization works, then you know that your passwords are stored in the etc password file. So if I was to cat that file right now, you would not see my user I just created listed yet. If it had added the user I just created, he would have been down here at the bottom of this file here. And as you can see, he's not. So creating the user through the Proxmox GUI, it did not actually create the user on the underlying system. Now, right now, that may seem kind of annoying and that may not make sense at the moment, but it will here shortly. So if I was to try to set a password for my user, it's going to say that user does not exist yet. And so if I was to go up here and log out, I would not be able to log in as my user because I don't have a password and because my user doesn't exist yet. So adding this user to the GUI, all it did was add him to the GUI. It didn't actually add him to the system yet. So I'm simply just going to log in as root. And now that I'm logged back into my Proxmox server, I'm going to go ahead and fix this problem with this user. And I'm going to go ahead and add my user to the underlying server. So I'm going to use the add user command, and then the user I want to create. Then I'm going to set him a password. Then it's going to ask for some other information like full name, room number, work phone, home phone, other. You can fill in all that information if you want to, but I'm going to keep things simple and leave it blank. And then I'm going to hit enter to confirm since the default for that was Y. So now my user should be created. And to prove that, I'm going to cat the etc password file again. And you'll see down at the bottom is the user I just created. And this time, now that we've added that user, we can come up here and log out. And then we should be able to use that username and then the password we just created and click log in. And we are back inside our console. But the first thing you're going to notice is while you can see the node and you can see a couple of options, you really don't have access to anything yet. So I need to give my user some access to the Proxmox server so that he can actually do work on it. So I'm going to log out and log back in as root. If we go back to our users, we're going to see my user over here. My user's in the PAM realm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my user again with the same name. And this time I'm going to put them in the VE, Proxmox VE server realm. And this time we're actually prompted for a password. And it can select a group, but we haven't got to that part yet. And again, we can set an expiration date and enable or disable. But that's all I'm going to do for now. So I'm going to click add. Now we have the same user twice. One is in the PAM realm and one is in the PVE realm. If I come up here and I log out as root and I log in as the user I created. This time, instead of using the Proxmox VE, and so we want to make sure on the realm here, previously we used PAM. This time we want to make sure we choose VE. So I'm going to click VE and then I'm going to click log in. So I successfully logged into the same server, but as you can see, the permissions are still basically the same. We have the same user created in both realms, and the whole reason I did that was to show you that you could have the same user twice. So I'm going to log in as root, use my root user password, make sure that I choose PAM authentication, and click log in. And here you can see my two users, one in the PAM realm and one in the PVE realm. But right now, neither user has any permissions. So right now, they can't do very much in Proxmox. So to break this down a little bit, if you look at my user here that's in the PVE realm, that means that this user exists in Proxmox, but he does not exist in the underlying system. So for example, if I add another user, let's say his name's Jim, in the Proxmox VE authentication server, I'm going to give him a password, and then I'll add him. So if I go over here to my Proxmox server, and I go to shell, and I said earlier that the etc password folder is where these users are going to be created at. If I cat that, I still don't see Jim in the file. And here you'll see my PAM user that I created earlier for myself, but you do not see Jim, the user that I just created for PVE. So what you can learn from that is that when you add a user to the PVE realm, that user is only a Proxmox user. He is not a Linux system user to the underlying system that Proxmox is being hosted on. He only has access to Proxmox, and specifically the Proxmox web interface. And Proxmox users are generally only used to manage the Proxmox system itself through the web interface. So if you wanted to invite a coworker to help you manage or create VMs, you would generally create them as a PVE user. And for the majority of your needs, that will probably be sufficient. So if that's all you need, then why would you even create a PAM user? Well, the thing is, a PAM user will have the ability to actually SSH into the server. So having my user be Morgan, being the PAM realm, this user can actually SSH into the server and run commands through the command line. But a PVE or a Proxmox user would not be able to do that. Now sure, a PVE user would be able to click on shell and manage the system through the command line that way, but they would not be able to SSH into the server or remotely manage the server from the command line. In fact, you don't necessarily have to have a PAM user for this user to be able to do this. You simply have to create a user in the Linux command line interface, and then that user would be able to SSH into the Proxmox server and run commands through the command line. So to break down the difference between these two realms so far, if you want a user who can just get into the Proxmox web console, that'd be a PVE realm user. If you need a user that can remotely manage the server itself through SSH in the command line, you want a PAM user. So Jim, being just a PVE user, cannot log into the command line on the server, whereas my PAM user would be able to SSH into the server and remotely manage it. But right now, regardless of which user I logged into as in Proxmox, they both had very little access to anything. So what we're going to do now is try and fix that. So first, you need to go just below users to groups, and we're going to create a new group. And to keep things simple, I'm going to call this the admin group. Right now, you'll see there's no configuration. I can add a comment if I wanted to, but it doesn't have any permissions attached to it. It is just simply a group, and you have to have the group first before you can add permissions to it. So we're going to click create. Now we have an admin group, and right now it doesn't have any purpose because we don't have any permissions to it. So to change that, we're going to click on permissions, and we're going to click on add, and we're going to group permissions. Now, if you look at the path dropdown right here, you can restrict these permissions to be as granular as you want to, and you can even restrict it down to certain VM numbers. But for simplicity's sake, since this is going to be an admins group, I'm just going to use a root folder for the path. Now, in the real world, you would want to create different groups for different things, like one group for VMs, one group for storage, and basically start off with as little privilege as possible and add to it as needed. But to keep things simple, since this is an admins group, I'm going to give them full permission to the path. So next you got to select your group. And the only group I have is the admin group, so I'm going to select admin. And at the moment, the default is no access for them. So now we need to give them access. So we'll click the drop-down arrow, and you can see the different roles listed and the privileges that are associated with them. Again, you can get as granular with the permissions as you need to, all the way down to the VMs. But since this is an admin group, I'm going to select the administrator role, and then we'll click add. And right now, before I add any users to this group, I want to show you some more detail about what these roles mean. So if we come over here and we click roles, you can see that list again of the different roles and the privileges that they have. So if you remember, no access was the default, which gives you nothing, no privileges whatsoever. And I just gave the administrative group administrator privileges, which gives them access to everything. And the rest of the roles are pretty self-explanatory. For example, you have a group that has access to VM clones. They only have access to the template. And you have a user role where they can manage users, but can't manage VMs. And then you have VM admin role, which has full control over the VMs themselves, but nothing else. So again, you can be as restrictive with these roles as you need to. But for now, the administrator role is perfect for the administrator group that I created to keep this video as simple as possible. So back here in the groups, we have our admin group that we created, and that's all it is. It's just a group named admin. So if I go up here to permissions, you'll see that I added this permission to the admin group, and this group has been given the administrator role, which basically means that any user in this group has full permission to everything. But here at the moment, there is no user added to this group. This group has no members whatsoever. And so to change that, you're going to go here to users, and I'm going to click on my user, the PVE version. I'm going to click edit, and you can see it's already popped up wanting me to edit the group, and it shows my admin group that I created. So I'm going to select it and then click OK. So now if I was to go up here and log out as root and then log in as that user, you can see that I have basically the same layout that I had as root, which is access to pretty much everything. Whereas previously I had no access to anything. So I'm going to log out and log back in as root. I just wanted to show y'all what that would look like. So let's take another look at my PAM user. Now I said earlier that you should only use this user for SSH, and that's true. Generally speaking, you want to use the PVE realm for anything that's PVE related. But I'm personally not a huge fan of having a user listed twice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the PVE user, and I'm going to remove him. And it's going to ask if I'm sure. I'm going to say yes. And now I only have a PAM user. So I'm going to click on my user, and I'm going to click edit, and I'm going to add my PAM user to the admin group, and I'm going to click OK. So now if I log out as root and then log in as my user and make sure I select the PAM realm, I can log in as my PAM user and have full control of the Proxmox web interface. So with the one user profile, I'm able to both SSH remotely into the server and manage it, and I can log into the Proxmox web interface and manage it that way. And I just thought that was pretty cool and wanted to show you that. So now I'm going to log out and log back in as root. So in summary, we went over the two different realms. We had the PAM realm and the PVE realm. And so PAM users are Linux users. If I create a PAM user here, he does not have automatic access to the underlying Linux server. You would have to log into the console, add that user to the underlying server. And so a PAM user would also not be able to log into the web interface until you, again, created that user on the underlying Linux server that Proxmox is running on top of. So creating a PAM user is done in two steps. You have to add the user on the underlying Linux server that is hosting Proxmox, and then you have to add the PAM user in the web interface for Proxmox itself. But the PVE user was created in a single step. You created his username and his password all through the web interface. Now, PAM users, as I mentioned earlier, are primarily for users that are going to be using SSH to access the server. If, however, that user will not be using SSH to access the server, then it's a better option to create that user as a PVE user. But as the administrator of your server, it's up to you how you want to create your users. You can create everybody as a PAM user, which means there's basically two steps involved to create that user and their password. Or you can create everybody as simply a PVE user, where the username and password are both created in the same step through the web interface. Now, regardless of what user you create, you can always add these users to permission groups. For example, I can add my root PAM user to the admin group, but because he's already root, there's no point in doing that. But I can also go up to Jim here, who's PVE user, and add him to the admin group. And that will actually give them permissions in the web interface itself. So even though PAM and PVE users are two completely different types of users, they can both be used to manage the system. You just simply have to add them to the group with the permissions that they need access to. But remember, by default, there are no groups in Proxmox. So you have to go to groups and then create a group, like how I created admin here. And by default, groups do not have permissions. So after you create the group, you have to go to permissions and then click add to add group permissions and then delegate the permissions however you need. And then once you've done that, you can simply create the group that you wanted access to and then give it a role. Now you can add permissions directly to a user if you wanted to, but it's best practice to do it by groups. That way you can add and remove users as needed, but the group as a whole stays the same, kind of like a template-based purpose. So the role will apply to the path, and that defines what each user in this group will be able to do. So for example, I'm going to create another group. I'm going to call this user admin. I'm going to click create. So now that I have that group, I'm going to go to permissions. I'm going to do add permissions. I'm going to do group permissions. And for that group, I'm going to give it access to the whole server. I'm going to apply this to the group I just created, user admin. Now, even though this group has access to the whole server, I only want them to be able to manage users. So I'm going to scroll down to user admin. And I'm going to select user admin, and then we'll click add. So any user in the user admin group has access to the whole web interface, but they only have permission for user admin. So now we need to add users to the user admin group. So I highly encourage you just to play around with this a little bit more and add users and give them different permissions and take away permissions and just see what all is involved with that. So this is your personal Proxmox server, so you can do with it what you want to, but it's the best way to learn in my opinion. If you've made it to the end of the video, I thank you so much for being here and for watching this video. Please hit the like button down below because it helps this channel grow. And if you had any questions or comments, please leave them down below, or you can go to my website where you can find a link to message me on Signal. As a reminder, I'm always open to doing viewer request videos to answer your questions in more detail if you would like me to. So remember to hit the subscribe button down below so you'll always know when a new video comes out. And I thank you guys for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video.